This is one of the example where we are not applying normalization because one of the term, the probability of it is 0. Okay. Whereas the other example that we checked out with respect to identifying a word in a document, we use Laplace smoothing over there. It is only when you have certain words, like you are trying to find out the probability of certain words, which is like your English dictionary, like you have lot many other words coming into picture. So for that case is what you'll be applying Laplacian smoothing. For the previous example of sunny, rainy and windy, overcast, whatever we saw, that one only is with respect to normalization because all your data is given. You have a fixed data. You do not have any varying data. You have a fixed data that has been given to you. For that fixed data, whatever the output you get, you will be applying normalization because none of the term was 0 in that. But whereas here, you can see the probability of you get a 0 value. So there is no need for you to normalize it. You can directly tell the possibility of my test case being classified will be with respect to down. You can directly write it so. So we have seen 3 examples with 3 different scenarios. I hope I have made it clear for you. All 3 examples with respect to naive-Bayes classifiers. Do you have any doubts with naive-Bayes classifiers? You have to reply me. Do you have any doubts, or I'll consider that you are clear on the concept? So you're clear on the concepts. Naive-Bayes classifiers, any type of problem given to you, you will be able to target it, right?
Ma'am, in Sunny we have done P of Y, no ma'am. Why we didn't do here P of
You can
down, ma'am?
include, but it is not gonna vary much. Okay, you can check out. You will still get the value of P of down to be high. Okay, anything that is multiplied with respect to this. Now I'll take probability of up. With this example, probability of up, obviously I'll get 0 itself. When I multiply with this, obviously I know that this is what is gonna high. So that's one of the reason why I did not include it. Good, it's a very nice question. I was just waiting for this. Why nobody has asked this question? That's very nice. So since I already got it as 0, I need not apply another additional term for that because my first term itself is telling as 0. So that's fine. And the other term, obviously, I'll get a positive value and I know that that's going to be the highest value. So I'm directly writing my probability to be as down. Yes? Any doubts? I hope we are clear about naive-Bayes classifiers.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you. So we'll go ahead with another topic. The recording. Okay, so this is about your minimum description length principle. It is one of the principle. How do you apply minimum length while you're transferring any data or code? Example, I hope everybody would have encountered this. Sometimes you may not be able to send a file in your email, but the same file you can transfer it to your WhatsApp, because WhatsApp has a mechanism which can compress the data and send it. But the actual data remains the same, but there is a compression mechanism where it involves where the data of it is going to be quite lesser comparatively. Example, if I have to share with respect to Zoom or if I have to share with respect to Microsoft Teams, it will tell me, okay, the data is too huge for it for me to go ahead with. But a similar, when I just, because this I have most of the time faced when I'm transferring some data, okay, rather than going to my email and doing it or to my Zoom and doing it, I can directly upload it into my WhatsApp. It will compress it. I again can take the same document and use it. There is a compression mechanism. I hope you would have observed this because we transfer so much of data with WhatsApp, right? So that compression, what exactly it happens? Suppose I'll tell, okay, I have a video 30 frames per second. Okay, so when I have a video, it's nothing but 30 frames per second. A similar frame will be there. Upon that, only the change in vectors will come. We call to be as vectors. The change in vectors in the sense, okay, a video is playing. Okay, suppose you have the movement of the hand like this. So I have 30 frames that I come up. So all my background image remains the same except my hand. So whatever that is actually changing, right, that will be forming my vectors. Okay, so when I have these vectors that come up, right, so these vectors, is what the additional information that I require, but all my background image remains the same. That forms my frame buffer. So what happens is when you're displaying it, you have a frame buffer where it starts refreshing the same. So you call it as, okay, there's many features with respect to systems. We call it to be as DRRS, display self refresh rate. Okay, so where it refreshes the same frame buffer multiple times. So 60 frames per second, okay, or 30 frames per second. Only the additional vectors is what I'll be adding. So my transfer now only requires these change in vectors rather than again sending the entire data. Okay, so a similar analogy is applied over here. Example, I've given you an example. I've written it down over here for you to just go ahead. Okay, so here is one of the example as such. Okay, let me consider this part. This is for your previous example. Okay, this one. See, the actual data of it is, suppose let me consider I have four variables that has to pass my data. It has 1 by 4, 1 by 4, 1 by 4, and 1 by 4. It means it requires so much. Okay, and now I'm taking out, okay, what is more frequently coming, what is less frequently coming. I'm telling this variable A is more frequently coming, so I'm giving 1 by 2 data of it. Okay, half the data transfer is from 1 by 2, that is from A. My B takes just 1 by 4 and my C takes 1 by 8 and 1 by 8. They're taking, actually it is less frequently occurring. So I need not allocate 1 by 4 memory for this. I'm just allocating 1 by 8 memory because it's very less occurring. So I need not require so much of data for that. So I'll just do this. And this is what my actual data, okay, actual data size that is required, or the frequently occurring data. So I'll consider this as actual data. This is called as information content. Okay, what actually is the information that it is required to transfer? Let me tell. It's taking the first frequently half number of data, is sending a value 1, then it is sending a value 2, value 3, and value 4 correspondingly. Okay, the number of bits that is required to transfer, like I'll consider this to be as an entropy. Entropy, the previous also we have seen an inconsistency in the data. Okay, but now I'm considering it, the number of bits that is required to transfer the data is entropy. So I'm going to write entropy equation as this: summation of pi into log 2 of pi. So there's a complete derivation on that. I'm not touching on the derivation part of this. Okay, I'm just telling you, okay, I'm going to take up the pi value, whatever the value, into log 2 of pi. This is my data transfer. Okay, the entropy value of it. Now what I'm doing is I'm going to actually transfer. How do I transfer? I'm going to take how much frequently it is occurring into its value. So 1 by 2 into 1, 1 by 4 into 2, 1 by 8 into 3. I'm going to write, it is telling I require so much, 1.75 bits of data. Let me consider the bits itself. Okay, I require 1.75 of data rather than 2. Initially it was taking 2, but I require only 1.75 data based on the number of frequency it is coming out with. Okay, so I'm gonna take this value. So it means that the main analogy of this is it is that you are reducing the number of bits that is required to transfer. That the term itself, minimal length description principle. Minimizing the length of it through when you're transferring it. Okay, minimal length description principle. Okay, let me clear this. I hope, is this clear? How much you require to transfer it, what is required, what not. I mean, why extra? Because the data transfer, you know what importance it has these days, because each and every bit is more important for us. So with respect to that, it is telling this is the amount of that I require. So we'll be using this entropy equation in our minimal length description principle. Okay, so this description, this will help us in the understanding of minimum length description principle. So it is telling is, see, it is motivated by interpreting the definition of H map. So whatever I'm going to take argmax, this is my hypothesis that I'll be taking. Okay, H max is equal to argmax of P of D by H into P of H, the likelihood as well as the prior knowledge. So I require. So what I'm doing is, it can be expressed in terms of maximizing with log 2. The similar, there we use that summation of pi into log 2 of pi. The same equation I'm going to apply. I'm going to derive that equation with respect to this, taking the maximum principle itself, maximum a posterior hypothesis. I'm going to take that and applying the logarithm. I'm going to maximize with respect to the logarithm, and I'm applying logarithm to it log 2 of p of h, because anytime when I apply logarithm with respect to this, Okay, it is going to be a dot product. So, okay, it becomes a plus symbol. Applying the product rule, f of a plus b is equal to f of a plus f of b. So, logarithmic of 2 of p divided by h. So, this is going to be a and this is b. Okay, so logarithm of f of a into b is f of a plus f of b. So, log of 2 p or p bar h, log of 2 p by h. So, I have it in the, from the product rule, I'm getting this value. Then what I'm doing is, rather than maximizing, we already saw that, rather than maximizing the negative term, you can minimize the positive term or vice versa. So what I'm doing is, rather than taking argmax to it, I'm going to take the argmin value, because I'm going to consider the number of minimum bits that is required to transfer. So I want the minimum of it. So I'm going to consider argmin, okay, argmin of this. With this, I'm going to add a minus sign to these two. Okay. So with respect to that, again, if we check out, okay, now I've got the minimum value of it. Okay. You can see this is the refer to content in the previous section to just give you a brief idea of how the transfer of data is happening. I've done that. Okay. Here, this log p of h, it is telling it is a description length of h under the optimal encoding. See, encoding and decoding will come into here. Encoding of the hypothesis space h. So I'm going to write this term, whatever the term that I get with respect to p of h, this term I'm going to write it as L C h of h. This is the first term. Then again you can see the second term, that is the likelihood. Again here it is telling, okay, it is a description length of the training data. Remember there in the previous example, we took up two values, 1 by 2 into 1 plus 1 by 4 into 3. Remember that example? A similar analogy is here. Okay, but we are minimizing the content. For that, we are applying the same terminologies. Okay, so what I do here is, for this particular log p by h, it's telling the description length of the training data. So this was my training data. The actual content of it is my training data. The number of bits it requires to transfer, the frequency of bits, I'm going to consider this to be as p of h, which is my prior knowledge. So this is my prior knowledge and this is my actual data, the information content. So I'll consider this as my likelihood. So this is my likelihood. Okay. So it's optimal solution. So I'm going to write this hypothesis. Let me clear this for you. So I'm going to write this hypothesis, the similar hypothesis with respect to h and p of h. So the final is going to be this same term. MDL, from map, I'm going to move to MDL, the maximum description length. Okay. With respect to argmin, the same argmin with respect to L of h and LC of D bar h. So I require both of these terms to converge to my final solution. Okay. So I think I'll stop for today and I'll take your attendance.